Hello and welcome to the Swamps. Today we are going to be doing a tarot reading on how men view you. I will also be doing another reading on how women view you. I'll post that one in a couple days after I post this one. So let's get started. This is pile 1, this is pile 2, and this is pile 3. All right. Hello, pile number 1. This is your tarot reading for how men view you. You chose the Lowlight, very pretty crystal. It's like very like blue, like really dark blue. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a very dark blue. We're going to get into your oracles first and then your tarot cards. All right, let's get into it. Your first tarot card is the Phoenix. That's oracle card. Your next oracle card is Shapeshifter. The light attributes are skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything. Shadow attribute, projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. Your next card is Consciousness. I just want to say before I read this card, it's really interesting that this card mentions navigating through different levels of consciousness. So just wanted to point out that synchronicity right there. So, consciousness. The frequency of consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on the multi-dimensional aspects that show up so that we can include them in our reality. And the last card is Rebellion with Aquarius in Mars in the 11th house. Okay, so what I'm picking up with your oracle cards, first of all, is that men see you as somebody who can change, more so than physically. We're talking about mentally. Like, you change your mind. You might be somebody who changes their mind a lot, honestly, and that's something that I'm picking up on here. But more so than anything, I feel like you're somebody who, like, the word evolve, I just heard evolve come to mind. You're somebody who changes in like a good way. Like in a progressive kind of way, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like you're somebody who has grown a lot, and potentially a lot of the men in your life notice this like greatly, honestly, especially with this Phoenix coming out. I feel like with this Phoenix coming out in particular, what is being focused on in this reading is the fact that you're able to overcome, not even just like transform, but like overcome situations in your life. I'm trying to find the right word for it. Not just like situations, but like situations is the word that comes to mind, but like, parts of your life you have overcome. Like, what is the word I'm looking for? Like cycles, that's what I'm looking for. Like, there's certain cycles in your life that you have overcome, and particularly men seem to notice this. Perhaps it's like a maturing thing. I think it's interesting with Shapeshifter coming out because, again, I'm picking up on this like mental energy. It's not really like a physical energy. Though I will say for some of you, and this is not meant to be an insult, this is mostly just some, how do I put this? Some like ignorant men coming out, where that word is coming out, that phrase is coming out to describe somebody who puts on makeup and looks different, I feel like, for some of you, but I don't really feel like that's all of you. For the most part, with Consciousness coming out, and even, in fact, Rebellion coming out, I feel like, and the Phoenix, sorry, a lot of these cards are like together. With those 3 cards coming out, it makes me feel like this has more to do with you mentally. So like, this has to do with like mental growth. And I feel like for whatever reason, men really have noticed that about you. It's probably referring to the men in your life that have noticed this about you. If you are a man and you are watching this, I feel as though this could be like a father's energy coming out. This could be a father's perspective of you coming out. It could even be for a woman too. I shouldn't just say if you're a man watching this. If you're a man or a woman or a non-binary person, this could actually be a parental's perspective on how you have changed over time, particularly a father, since we're talking about men here. This could be that. especially with this rebellion card coming out. That makes me feel like this is father energy, like how your father sees you actually. For some of you, you could have been very rebellious growing up and maybe now you've calmed down a bit, or you're still rebellious and that is just how they see you. But what I will say is there's been some kind of a change within you. There's something different about you that whoever's energy is coming out here, whoever I'm picking up on, whichever man I'm picking up on, I feel as though they have noticed a great change within your energy, specifically you mentally. So this could have anything to do with your beliefs, to just like your ambitions. It could be anything like that. With the Phoenix coming out, I almost feel like it has to do with ambitions actually. Perhaps this has to do with changing a major or like changing an intellectual pursuit as well, especially with the Phoenix and consciousness coming out. That's what makes me think that. Perhaps for some of you with this rebellion coming out, you could have dropped out of of like college or even high school, and that's where that's coming from. Especially, like, I really am picking up on a father energy here, which is really interesting. I was not expecting that for this reading. I was actually mostly expecting some kind of like, like suitors, to be honest with you. But for this group, I'm almost picking up on mostly like father energy here. Or it could even be somebody who views you as a child, who views you as their, somebody that they take care of. I don't want to even say child necessarily, but somebody that they take care of. So let's get into your tarot cards here. We've got the 10 of Cups coming out. This makes me feel like the way that men view you, or your father for some of you, is that like you've got it all figured out. Like this, you have this all figured out. Like you're headed in that direction. And to be honest with you, for some of you, I feel as though with this group, I feel as though they're like not really nervous about you. Like I feel like a lot of like parental figures will be very nervous about the direction that their children are going in. But for the parental energy, the father energy that I'm picking up on, I don't feel like they're nervous about that at all. I feel like even if you dropped out of like college recently, I don't even feel like they're super nervous about that. I feel like they're actually pretty supportive of this. Let's see your next card. We've got the Fool. Yeah, like I feel like this is you like taking another journey in life, going down a different path right now. And it's interesting because he's headed towards this 10 of Cups energy. He knows that this is the direction to go in to get to this, wholesome, figured out energy. So I feel like, and this doesn't have to be a dad, by the way, this could actually be like a suitor, I guess. I don't know how to put that, or even just peers, for example. They just see you as somebody who knows, like you're able to change directions, right? You're able to change directions because you know which direction you want to go in, and that's how men really seem to view you. You know what you want. And with this Phoenix card coming out, it makes me feel like you know which direction to go in the sense that Phoenixes, I'm trying to figure out a good way to explain this. They extinguish themselves by flying down, but then they rise up from the ashes. And I feel like that's what you're doing right now. I'm using this as an example. This might not actually be what recently happened, but something recently happened that's the same energy of like dropping out of college, okay, with this rebellion card coming out. And, you extinguished yourself by doing that, but there's a direction you're going in that I am not sure what it is, but there's a direction that you are sure of that you're heading in with these two cards coming out. And that's like the equivalent to the Phoenix rising up out of its ashes. I feel that energy completely while reading this group. And I feel like this is a group of people that, like, the way that men view you, regardless of if it's a suitor or if it's father, they view as somebody who knows what direction they're going in. They view you as somebody who knows what they're doing. They view you as somebody who can change directions on a whim. And it's like nothing for you, honestly. Like you can completely change the direction that your life is going in, and it's like nothing for you. If anything, you actually really like doing this. You like a change of pace. You need a change of pace is something that I just heard. All right, I'm about to just take some charms out. Interesting. All right. So with this key popping out, I feel like this is sort of referring to like what I was talking about. You're taking a new direction in life. You're opening a new door is what I heard with that. with this butterfly coming out, that is again a reference to you changing. This is a reference to you just changing on a whim, and it's nothing to you. Like, I just saw, I wish I could turn my camera around, but I thought like somebody like patting the dirt off their shoulders. Like, it's nothing to you. You can change like your major, you can change if you even want to be in school, you can change your job, and it's like, that's refreshing to you, okay? That's like what I'm picking up on with this group. Especially with this sun charm coming out. Like, you're like a generator is what I heard. Like, you have enough energy to go from thing to thing. That's like who this group is for me. And especially with this unicorn coming out, like, again, this is a very unique quality about you that men or your father or your suitor, however it applies, view you as somebody who is very unique and can just change direction, is leading. I just heard is leading sorry, it's foggy. I can't really hear what that was. I feel like it might have to do with leading in a field, perhaps. Perhaps you've changed to a different type of field, like a medical field or something like that. You've changed to a different, I don't know what the word is. I'm so sorry. But like, I feel like this is like a leader for some reason that's coming out for me. So that's all I'm really getting for this group. Thank you for coming to the Swamps for a tarot reading. If you wish to support my channel, please subscribe. And once again, thank you. Hello, pile number 2. This is your tarot reading for how men view you. You chose the red Aura Quartz. I love this piece so much because the shape of it sort of looks like a flame, and it just has like a flame aura to it. So I really love this piece. We're going to get into your oracles first and then your tarot cards. All right, let's get into it. Your first card is Swan. Your next card is Companion. So the light attributes are loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. And then shadow attributes are betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. And then the next card is Passion. The frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within this intensity, moving us from chaos to the calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill us up. And then your last oracle card is Fortune with Leo in the Sun in the 5th house. So when I read this card, I feel like I heard fortunate to meet you. So right off the bat, I'm getting this energy from you that's both very passionate and very loyal with this card coming out. And particularly with the Swan coming out, you're a very graceful person. I thought of like Swan Lake when I literally heard the music from Swan Lake when I saw this card. I feel like you're very graceful, like a ballerina. Maybe not like literally. I don't know if you might be a ballerina. I don't know, but maybe not like literally in that sense, but in the sense that like socially, emotionally, and to a degree spiritually, you're a very graceful person, which I feel like I've picked up on that energy before on my channel. So I feel like for a lot of you, you are reoccurring visitors. What I will say is how men view you as you're a very passionate person, and I think men see this. To be honest with you, and I'm going to be straightforward with you, because when I made my channel, one of the things that I told myself is that I'm going to be honest and I'm going to say what I see. And one of the things that I see here is that you do have the potential for some of you to scare men off a little bit here. Just because some men, and this is not a you problem, some men are actually very scared by commitment and passion. And I will say that this group gives me a pretty fiery, passionate vibe here. I feel like this group is particularly, when you like somebody, I feel like you guys tend to, whether you mean to or not, you kind of let people know that. And particularly in this group, if you're attracted to men, I feel as though like they can pick up on that, and for some of them it scares them off. However, what I will say is that that's just some of the men that are coming through here. There are other men who actually really like this. They actually really like the fact that you can be very passionate, especially since you have like this like grace to you. I think that for a lot of you, most men actually find this really attractive because you're very passionate in a graceful way. So what I mean by that is you don't just sort of, I'm not going to say it like that, but I will say you don't let your butt hang out, okay? You are somebody who is very graceful, and you'll let people know that you're passionate about them. And while that might scare off some men, because you do this so gracefully, other men find that very attractive. To be honest with you, I feel like the men that are scared off have preconceived notions about commitments and about like passion in relationships in general. And again, I'm just gonna say it, it's a them problem, definitely not a you problem. What I will say with this fortune card and Leo coming out, I feel like this person, I feel like you come off as very like, I heard gaudy sometimes, but with this swan card coming out, I feel as though while you might be gaudy, you do it in a way that's, again, like graceful. And I don't know how to better explain that. Like, okay, like I guess I could explain it like this. Like some people will put on every accessory in the house and it won't look good, okay? It just won't look good. But like you'll be able to put on a lot of accessories in a way that looks pretty good. Like you know what you're doing, basically. That's just an example. It's not just about like physical appearance. This could also have to do with like socially speaking. You could be very dramatic and very passionate in the way that you speak, but you do it in a graceful way. You choose your words very carefully is something that I just heard. You're not somebody who is like, you have this passion and it can be intense, but it's like you have like a filter on it is what I feel. You have like this filter so that even though you are a very passionate and intense person, you don't like let that overcome you, if that makes sense. Let's get into your tarot cards. We've got the Hanged Man. Yeah, I feel like that kind of goes with this grace that I'm talking about. You choose your words carefully. You don't just say what's on your mind. I feel like you do say what's on your mind, but like you actually like put it through a filter first, if that makes sense. Like you're not like lying to people. You're not like lying through your teeth, but you will read the room and then you will say what you're thinking. Like you'll actually run it through some like filters. You'll actually like run it through your head before actually saying some of the things that you want to say. Wow, and I'm not surprised at all. We have the Queen of Swords coming out here. Now, I have this personal perspective on the Queen of Swords where I do think she's a very graceful queen. She's a very smart queen. But she is this filter that I'm talking about. Like they see this in you. They see that you're a very careful person is what I'm picking up on. I don't know if Virgo is associated with the Queen of Swords, but I'm going to go ahead and associate Virgo with the Queen of Swords here because I am getting a little bit of Virgo energy from this group. You're very graceful. You like filter your thoughts before you say them. And that's like the biggest thing I'm getting here. And I feel like men see this, like, again, some men are sort of intimidated by it and a little bit scared off. But then there's other men that actually really like this. They really like the fact that you're able to filter through your thoughts and like, sorry, I don't want to say it like how I'm thinking it right now, but I guess I have to. You filter through your thoughts to the point where you have like a finished product, basically. Like the way that you like actually convey your thoughts is like it's a little bit perfectionist, if I'm honest, but I think that's a good thing. I think that's a really good thing, and it actually can help like avoid arguments, honestly, and misunderstandings. And again, that's why I feel like this Queen of Swords is coming out. She's very well spoken, and I feel like that's you too. So I am going to get some charms out now. I have no idea what that is. What? Okay, this is going to be a weird message, but I got hardworking from this coming out because I heard fruits of your labor. So I feel like you're a very hardworking person as well. It's probably where this passion is coming from as well. I feel as though that is just another piece of the puzzle here. I feel like this is just emphasizing this Queen of Swords energy, to be honest with you. Again, I feel like you are very, like, you filter your thoughts, and honestly, I have nothing bad to say about that personally. I wish I could do that more myself. I feel like you're a very thoughtful person. I actually have no idea what this is, but it's very pretty. So based on that, I think that men probably view you as very pretty. Let me see what this key could mean. I feel like, so this is referring to you lock down certain thoughts. There's things that you won't say because you kind of know better. You're filtering through them. And with this, for some of you, because this sort of looks like a labyrinth, and it made me think of a labyrinth. For some of you, you're really searching. So, okay, this is an interesting message, actually. So with this charm coming out, with some of you, you're really still searching for the right guy, and that's actually where this Queen of Swords energy is coming from as well. You have been cutting out a lot of incorrect energy for you. Okay, you've been cutting out a lot of guys that are just not making the cut, is something that I heard, and I think this kind of goes along with you being very graceful, being like filtering and a little bit on the perfectionist side. I feel as though you are somebody who's this translates as well into your dating life. That's kind of what I'm getting with this charm, strangely. And that's all of your charms. And that's pretty much all I'm getting for this reading right now. Thank you for coming to the Swamps for a tarot reading. If you wish to support my channel, please subscribe. And once again, thank you. Hello, pile number 3. This is your tarot reading for how men view you. You chose the Jade, which I'm super excited to have. I just added this to my collection recently, and I really like it. So let's get started. We're going to get into your oracle cards first, and then your tarot card. Yeah, wow. I don't know what that was. I'm so sorry. And then we'll get into your tarot cards. All right, your first card is Frog. I really like that card. I love that there's rain. Your next card is Child Nature. So the light attributes are friendships with animals, communication with nature spirits, and the shadow attribute is tendency to abuse animals, people, and the environment. Feels like polar opposite things, but okay. And then we have 38 with Remembrance. The frequency of remembrance supports our memory of everything that we have gone through as a soul in body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully with and in this life. And your last oracle card, is Friendship with the Moon in Cancer in the 4th house. Okay. So I'm going to be straightforward with you. Men tend to view you as somebody like familiar, to be honest with you. If anything, they sort of like, I feel like this group is really in touch with their inner child. And I think that men see that with you. And in fact, like I just saw in my head, like 2 people playing video games together, stuff like that. Like you're a very playful person. If anything, you might still like watch cartoons. You might still be into a lot of like games, stuff like that. I feel like you haven't fully let go of your childhood, but not in a super unhealthy way, to be honest with you. It's in a way that's like pretty healthy, honestly. Like in your free time, you might watch a cartoon from your childhood, or you might play a video game from your childhood, or even a board game from your childhood. I feel like this group is somebody who still is connected very much to things from their childhood. And I think that when you talk to men about these things, they see that and it makes them feel like they're very familiar with your energy because of that. Because, I mean, we all live on the same planet, and if they're in the same age group as you, they probably had a similar childhood as you. So if you're still very connected with the things from your childhood, they'll probably find that very familiar with you. And it might not even just be that. To be honest with you, it could just be the way that you carry yourself. You could just be a very playful person. I'm sorry that the frog card really caught my attention here, particularly with like hopping. I feel like that's like the playful energy that I'm talking about here. There's like a bubbly energy to you. There's like a bubbly hopping energy to you. That's what it is. It's not even just like material things here. We're talking about an energy that you seem to have that's very bubbly. That makes sense with the frog too, because frogs can swim and bubbles in water. But yeah, for some of you, you might actually be really connected with nature. And I feel like, and I might be speaking for myself here, but I'm going to say it anyway. I feel like when we were kids, we spent a lot more time outside, probably because we weren't chained to like a desk or a store or whatever our careers are. Probably because of that. But I feel like that's important here. I feel like you're still very connected with nature. And for some men, this is very nostalgic, to be honest. I feel like you make men a little nostalgic. I almost want to look at your tarot cards here. We've got the Strength card. Interesting. I feel like this is sort of a nod to the fact that even though you are in touch with your inner child, even though you might be a very bubbly person, you're still an adult. You've still grown strong. Like you're still a strong person. What's the word I'm looking for? Like you're fully grown still for a lot of you. Some of you might not be. But yeah, the main takeaway that I'm getting from that is like, even with this card too, interestingly, we have like two women with animals coming out. I feel like you might be really in touch with animals as well with the Strength card coming out, surprisingly. And that might be part of it. I mean, again, I feel like when we were children, I mean, not for all of us, some of us have maintained our love for animals our whole lives. And I can appreciate that because I am one of those people. But I want to say is for some people, they haven't really maintained that relationship with animals their whole life. But I feel like as kids, we always were more connected to animals as children, if that makes sense. And I feel like you being connected with animals and nature is nostalgic for some men in the sense that you are like bringing that back for them, especially with the passion that you have for animals. I feel like this group is pretty passionate about animals. And I think that's why I got stuck up on this frog card. Because it's the one card here that's focused mainly on animals, and particularly the frog. I just saw somebody like catching frogs too. That's also really nostalgic if you think about it. Like, I don't know if you ever went on any kind of vacation or anything, but I remember when I was young, we used to go to Florida here and there. And we would always be catching lizards and frogs and stuff. And that was something very nostalgic for me growing up. So to be honest with you, you're even bringing me back to like, your energy is taking me back to like some nostalgic moments here. So I feel like that's the main takeaway from this reading, but let's get your last tarot card. And then we have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, there's like a childish passion here. Even if you are still like a strong, fully realized person, there's like a childish passion here. And I do think that it has to do with animals for some of you, if not all of you. With this Friendship card coming out as well, I want to focus on that for a second. I feel like that is part of this. A lot of men view you as a friend, to be honest with you, and I hope that's not too much of a letdown. A lot of them view you as a friend, and I think it's because of this nostalgic energy that you bring them. Because if you think about it, when we were kids, a lot, we weren't really focused on relationships and stuff. We were focused on friendship and having fun and going on adventures. And I feel like that's you. I feel like that might honestly be you as well. Like, I feel like you're more, this might be a group of like asexuals, honestly. I feel like you're mostly focused on friendship and nature. Like, I'm really getting those strongly coming out with this reading here. There's definitely an emphasis on like passion, but like with the ace coming out, the Ace of Wands, I should say, coming out, there's like a nostalgic passion for me when I see this. So to sum up this reading with the cards here, I feel like I feel like men view you as somebody who is like, that you remind them of their childhood. You're like a nostalgic person for them. And you're very in touch with nature as well as just your inner child. So I'm going to pull some charms here. Okay. So with this first charm that I want to talk about, you're a very optimistic person. And I think that's something that was coming out with this frog, but I didn't say. It just didn't come to mind. You're a very optimistic person. You view the glasses half full, not half empty. That's what I got from this charm. This, I think, is just referring to your love of nature. I think that you're very connected with nature, not just animals, but plants. I think that's kind of what this starfish is about too, as well. You're very connected with nature, both animals and plants. And then with this key coming out here, I'm gonna give me a second here. With this key coming out, I feel as though this is like a key part of your personality, to be honest. This might be a big part of your personality. Like you might really just enjoy nature, animals, and the fact that you're just, not even just that. Actually, I think the key part of your personality is that you're bubbly. You're a very optimistic, bubbly person. And to be honest, a lot of people really like that about you, specifically men. Even if they do view you mostly as a friend, I'm sure if you're looking for a man, I'm sure that not all men will view you as a friend. I just think that most men do. That's why this friendship card is coming out. So that's all I'm really getting for this reading. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope you return to the swamps again for another tarot reading. If you wish to support my channel, please subscribe. And once again, thank you. Thank you everyone for coming to this tarot reading. It means a lot. Every view counts. And I really hope you found this helpful. Sorry, I am a little bit winded from that. Thank you everyone that has subscribed to me recently. I really appreciate it. And I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but I'll mention it again. I will be making another version of this video, but for how women view you later this week. So once again, thank you, and I'm gonna get off now.